Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends. I did a lore video earlier on this channel for the release of the Genestealer cults. While it isn't for everyone, there was certainly a lot of enthusiasm for short form lore. So I'm back today with a piece for those fans. Today I'm covering the Tau, my favourite faction. As long as these videos continue to go down well, I'll aim to do one lore piece a month. Let me know what faction you'd like me to cover next month in the comments. In the vast, war-torn universe of Warhammer 40,000, every faction fights for survival, domination, or madness. But one faction dares to dream of something more: unity. The Tau, a rising star in the galactic conflict, believe in the greater good, a philosophy of peace, progress, and cooperation. However, peace in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium often comes at the barrel of a gun. The Tau Empire is a relatively young race, hailing from the eastern fringe of the galaxy. They are one of the most advanced civilizations in the Warhammer 40k universe, but they are also one of the newest on the galactic stage, only coming to prominence within the last 6,000 years. Originally, the Tau were primitive, tribal, and constantly at war with one another. But all of that changed with the arrival of their ethereal caste, a mysterious and revered group who unified the Tau under the guiding principle of the greater good. Unlike other factions driven by hatred, chaos, or raw survival, the Tau believe in expanding their empire through cooperation, diplomacy, and, when necessary, war. Their approach to galactic conquest is unique. They seek to incorporate other races and cultures into their empire, all in the service of the greater good. At the core of Tau society is the belief in the greater good, or Tau Va. It is not just a political system nor military strategy, it is a philosophy. The Tau believe that all races, even aliens, can contribute to a harmonious galaxy if they work together for mutual benefit. But make no mistake, the Tau's version of peace can be enforced by their advanced military if diplomacy fails. For the Tau, there is no middle ground. Join the greater good willingly, or be convinced through force. They even accept alien species into their empire, like the Kroot, Vespid, and sometimes even human auxiliaries known as the Guevesa. These races aren't treated as equals, but as useful partners in the grand project of the greater good. The idea is that every species has a place in Tau society, even if that place is simply to fight or die in the service of the Empire. The Tau society is highly organized and divided into 5 castes, each responsible for a different aspect of their empire. The Fire caste are known by their prefix Shaz. These are the warriors, the soldiers of the Tau. They are skilled in ranged combat and the ones who bring the greater good to the battlefield. Then there is the Earth caste, the engineers and builders of Tau society. The Earth caste is responsible for the technology, infrastructure, and development that makes the Tau Empire so advanced. The Water caste are the diplomats, traders, and ambassadors. They handle the diplomacy that expands the Empire peacefully when possible. The Air caste are the pilots, fleet commanders, and navigators. These Tau are responsible for controlling the Empire's impressive fleet of spacecraft. Finally, the Ethereal caste, the leaders and spiritual guides of the Empire. Ethereals are the heart of Tau society, using their wisdom and authority to direct the other castes. The Tau's rigid caste system allows for extreme specialization and unity. Each caste plays a vital role in ensuring the Empire functions like a well-oiled machine. The Tau military philosophy is centered around ranged combat and precision. Unlike the Imperium of Man, which relies on sheer numbers and brute force, or the Orcs who charge headlong into melee, the Tau favor finesse and advanced technology. At the heart of their military is the Fire caste, Tau soldiers equipped with advanced weaponry such as pulse rifles and railguns. But it is their battlesuits that truly stand out. The Crisis battlesuits, Ghostkeel, and Riptide mechs are some of the most iconic and feared in the Tau military, combining mobility, firepower, and technology in a way few other factions can match. The Tau also rely heavily on drones, small flying robots that provide additional firepower, defense, or utility on the battlefield. Whether protecting a fire warrior team or acting as spotters for artillery, drones are a crucial part of Tau tactics. The Tau's emphasis on ranged combat means they tend to avoid close quarters fighting. They prefer to outmaneuver their enemies, relying on their advanced weaponry to take down foes from a distance before they can get too close. One of the most interesting aspects of the Tau is their willingness to ally with other species. While many factions in Warhammer 40k are xenophobic, the Tau welcome aliens, albeit on their terms. The Kroot are one of their most prominent allies. These carnivorous, avian-like mercenaries serve as scouts and shock troops for the Tau. While the Kroot prefer melee combat, their versatility and stealth make them valuable to the Tau's more ranged-focused strategies. The Vespid are another allied species, insectoid beings who fight along the Tau using powerful crystal-based weaponry. And then there are the Guevesa, humans who have defected from the Imperium to join the Tau. For these human auxiliaries, life under the Tau often seems like a better option than the oppression of the Imperium. While the Tau boast incredible technology and a unified society, they are not without their weaknesses. First, the Tau are physically smaller and weaker than many of the other factions. In a one-on-one melee battle, a Tau fire warrior would stand little chance against a Space Marine or an Orc. This reliance on ranged combat can backfire if their enemies close the distance. Second, despite their claims of unity and peace, the Tau have their own form of tyranny. The Ethereal caste, while revered, hold absolute power, and it's unclear whether the Tau truly choose to follow the greater good, or if they are conditioned by the Ethereals. Finally, while the Tau's technology is advanced, they lack the psychic abilities that many other races in Warhammer 40k wield. They have no true counter to the warp, making them vulnerable to forces like Chaos or Eldar Psykers. The Tau stand out in the Warhammer 40,000 universe as a faction driven by an idealistic vision for the future. They seek to unify the galaxy under the banner of the greater good, offering a path of peace and progress. But in the grim darkness of the far future, idealism is a rare commodity, and one that often comes at a cost. Will the Tau continue to rise, spreading their philosophy across the stars, or will they be consumed by the chaos, corruption, and conflict that defines the galaxy around them? Only time will tell. Okay, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed that short but hopefully sweet introduction to Tau lore. Thanks as always to my Patreons for supporting the channel and giving me a platform to continue doing this sort of work. If you are a Tactics player and new to the game and haven't yet used their referral code, I'd love if you could consider entering mine. It earns you 100 Blackstone and also supports me in the work that I do. It is single use though, so choose who you support carefully. Bye for now.
Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!